Here's another overview of metabolism. First step of metabolism is glycolysis. According to Carrier, what do we need to know about glycolysis? Most important thing is that out of glycolysis is going to come out 2 molecules of pyruvate and also that it takes 2 ATP to happen, but it produces 4 ATP. So your net ATP, net gains, is 2. So some more important information about glycolysis. Glycolysis is also an anaerobic process. It's anaerobic, which means there is no oxygen involved. Another bit of important information. In this process, you're going to get glucose, which is a 6 carbon, 6 carbon molecule is going to be turned into pyruvate, 2 of them, which each are 3 carbons. Alright, and then all this stuff happens in the cytosol, or I guess you can say cytoplasm of the cell, which is that gooey stuff on the inside. And then we're going on to the second step of metabolism, and that's going to take place. If you take a look at this little organelle here, this is supposed to be a mitochondria, but I'm not that really good at drawing. Okay, so the second step is the Krebs cycle. And that's going to take place inside the matrix of the mitochondria. All right. This is also known as substrate level phosphorylation. Alright, so the important stuff about the Krebs cycle that you gotta know is that after, these molecules of pyruvate get in there, they get eventually converted into 8 NADH, 2 FADH, and 2 ATP. All right, and then the last step, step 3, which is the electron transport change and is also known as oxidative phosphorylation. Last step, and in that step, what's going to happen is, you get the movement of electrons carried by NADH and FADH. If you remember, in the inner membrane space, there's a difference of hydrogen ions on the outside from the inside. And what's going to happen is this change is going to make ATPase, this kind of, I guess you could say protein. This protein is going to start pumping hydrogen ions because there's a differential of hydrogen outside and inside. So there's a lot more on the outside and they're going to get pumped inside. And in that process, ATP is going to be produced. So important things about this part is you're going to have the final pump. Obviously, the final pump here is going to be ATP synthase. You're going to have these two different proteins, NADH and FADH. They're carrying electrons over to these other proteins. You have your NADH protein, and FADH protein, and they're pumping hydrogen out, so there's more out here and less in here, and that's going to drive the ATP synthase to bring more in, and in that process produce ATP. So overall here we have a net production of 32 ATP. Any other important information? So oxygen accepts hydrogen at the end. So make sure you know that oxygen is the final electron acceptor. So oxygen is the final electron acceptor, and that is all.